Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love. My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your astrology forecast for today, Tuesday, June 27th of 2023. Trusting that you all had a marvelous Monday, and let's see what Tuesday has in store for us. Well, there's not a lot of major aspects that are going to be occurring today at first glance. It's really going to be a lot of energy that's sort of just building up as we move closer towards, of course, the full moon that we're going to have in Capricorn. But there's a lot of just building and budding energy right now. So today actually might just honestly feel like a day where we have a little bit of reprieve as far as like the intensity of things, but you can still feel that things are kind of percolating. Things are kind of like simmering, if you will. So we do start off the day, of course, with that moon in Libra, right? There's actually going to be sextiling over to Venus to start the day, which is a nice energy. The moon in Libra, of course, we're all looking for some sort of balance in our lives right now. We're all looking for some sort of maybe even justice in our life. And of course, we have Venus in Leo, which is wanting to definitely move things forward and have a lot of fun and like really seek the passion and things, but Venus is still moving slow. We gotta remember Venus is going to retrograde here in Leo. That being said, this is going to be an energy where if we, especially with the fact that Venus, rules Libra as well. So there's definitely going to be this element where Venus is sort of like really wanting to be back home in Libra. And even though it's wanting to have this fun in the Leo energy, it'd rather be where the moon is. But Venus is not going to get there for a while because it has to go through an entire retrograde period, right? It's interesting too. We're going to have the moon that's going to sextile Mars as well today. So it's going to, but there's also this whole black moon Lilith that we have to deal with in the middle. So it's interesting how we start the day with, us wanting to, in many ways, sort of connect to this more feminine energy. Then we get the black moon Lilith energy. So there's like this sort of fear, this sort of weird little blockade in the middle. And then we get to the Mars energy, which is wanting to act and actually move things forward. So, there's definitely going to be this element today where we can maybe feel like we're trying to get different aspects of ourselves on board to move forward, but maybe with that moon is looking to try and find some sort of balance between the masculine and the feminine, despite the fact that right now the feminine energy, at least via Venus, is not exactly super strong. It's moving down, it's moving slower. Things aren't happening as fast as we want to. Things may not necessarily look as glamorous and as shiny as we want them to. And there can definitely be some fears as to, whether or not we can really express what's in our heart, what really express that creative passion, that creative intelligence that I've been talking about too over the last few forecast episodes. There's this fear here that we can't necessarily express ourselves in the way that we want to, therefore connecting with more like-minded people. But there's this element where Mars is still saying to just move forward, get it done, and to also not be too hard on yourself, right? This is definitely fine. It's definitely key this week to just find some time. It's key every week, but it's definitely key to really just find some time to just kind of decompress a bit, right? And just kind of relax and decompress. The great thing about the sun being in Cancer is that it does allow people this time to decompress in many ways. It's the first water sign. It looks at it rules the home. I like to think of it as like the sanctuary kind of energy, right? But if you don't have like a sanctuary, it can things can get kind of hectic. Things can get kind of crazy. There's a reason why we always feel better when we run to mom, and we're in mom's arms. We feel comfortable. You know, um, that's the thing about it. We get those hormonal releases where it washes over us. Like I said, we feel comfortable. We feel safe. There's definitely going to be this element where a lot of us are looking for something to kind of cling on to, some type of safety, some type of something to give us this comfort. We haven't really had a whole lot of that. But now that we have all these energies moving into Cancer, now we are, of course, have Mercury moving into Cancer. By the end of the day, it'll be at 2 degrees because Mercury is zipping. So it's going to catch up to the sun very, very soon. Not quite tomorrow, but pretty much the day after tomorrow. So Thursday to Friday, we're going to finally see Mercury and the sun conjunct in Cancer. Not to mention, it's going to be happening pretty much around the time where the sun is going to be making the trine over to Saturn. So definitely an interesting way to start the day. Looking for some sort of balance between these energies and learning how to balance, in many ways, our expectations with the reality. I think that's really what this comes down to. The moon just spends all that time in Virgo over the weekend, which definitely was a reality check, I think, for a lot of people. Now that the moon is in Libra, it's like we can have our dreams and stuff like that. We can have the things that we want, but things take time and we have to kind of temper our expectations. That's not to mean that you can't shoot for the moon or shoot for the stars and land on the moon. That's not to say that you can't have big lofty goals. That's not it at all. I think it's just the whole timing of everything right now is going to just be much different than what our human minds can conceive of right now. you know we this is a divine timing kind of thing. So you move this as we continue to move, of course, this moon forward. We're going to see, I have it done by month. Hold on, let me change it. I was looking at some other stuff earlier, so let me switch this back to hours. Bam. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna keep moving this forward. We got that moon that's going to oppose Chiron at 19 degrees. So definitely this moment where the moon in Libra is definitely looking for some sort of camaraderie, some sort of balance, some wanting to relate to other people. But then you have the Chiron and Aries energy. This can be seen as a couple different things right here, right? This could be us maybe getting too caught up on our wounding and then we're not allowing ourselves to connect with other people. Or this could be, I'm literally hearing this is sort of like people looking at a sort of person that maybe they may seem as, let me back up. Let me recollect my thoughts or whatever like that, because I had a couple of things that came to mind. But the Grinch is what came to mind for some reason, right? The Grinch, right? Um, you may perceive certain people or certain situations to be like the Grinch. You may perceive certain people to be uh, maybe just different. I mean, obviously different from you, but there's a sort of like a disfigured. There's a sort of austerity when it comes to this. There's a potential today to either outcast others or even feel like an outcast, because of maybe some of your weirdness, maybe some of your quirks, you know. But it's through your quirks in many ways that I find that you can find your superpowers. Because you gotta remember, Chiron, the glyph is a key, so it's like opening up a door. It's like opening up a treasure chest, and then you have like that. You have that treasure there. You have that magic. You have that stuff right there. So I think with this moon being in Libra, opposing Chiron, there's definitely going to be a bit of strife when it comes to the austerity of some of the people around us. Maybe we don't necessarily understand their character. Maybe we don't necessarily understand why they do the things that they do. So I think this is going to be kind of a tricky moment to kind of navigate. We do, of course, have the sextiling energy still, but gotta remember, like, it's going to be sextiling Black Moon Lilith. So there could be even a fear of connecting with certain individuals because they may look so outside of what you normally would associate with. But you never know, though. This could be a great opportunity as well to actually get to know someone that really hits a lot of those same buttons. Maybe they have a lot of the same creative passions and pursuits as you, but because they come from a different walk of life, because they may just look a little bit different from the normal people that you associate with, that this person can end up actually being very critical to your development in general. They can end up being a really good friend, even. So that's just one potential here too. This can play itself out in many different ways. This can also play itself out where people may feel like some sort of injustice has been committed upon them because of maybe the wounding, maybe because of some of the traumas that they might have experienced in the past, just for being who they are. Chiron is in the second decan of Aries, which is ruled by the sun. So some people may feel like there's some sort of blight that has come against them, or they've been slighted somehow by life or by other people, or maybe even by the justice system itself. And it can definitely people can definitely get really into their feels today about that. But this is a temporary aspect. It's only going to last for a couple of hours, and then it'll loosen as the day progresses. I think, and that's really why it's super important to really know who we are. And so ultimately, if you find yourself in a situation like that, that knowing who you are, remember, this is the sun. So this isn't like Mars, this isn't even Jupiter, this is the sun's decan. So if you find yourself in a position where you feel like you're being slighted against just for being who you are, then just simply shine and be you. This is not a good time to try and get into any arguments or trying to convince the other person of your position, or this is not really a time to really go into that energy. It's just simply a time to be. That's all it is. It's just a time to be. You can really find yourself in some weird places if you just try and push the envelope and try and just convince, convince the world, convince this other person, convince whatever of your position. It'll be like banging your head against the wall. There's no point in it. Just simply be you, and that's all the universe is asking us to do, is to just simply be ourselves. Some of the other aspects that are going to be tightening today, of course, we have the conjunction here with Mercury and the Sun. I talked about that earlier. We have the trine that Venus will be making over to Chiron, which is strengthening too. So yeah, there's definitely this element where we are in many ways are going to have to kind of reach in deep too. Because with this opposition, and then of course Venus making the trine over to this aspect, even though it's not exact, we're going to have to kind of reach deep into our spirit, into our soul, to kind of find some level of comfortability and to really find our value in who we are and be confident in our expression too. So that's the other part about this, is the confidence and the strength to be who we are. Not everyone's going to get you. Not everyone's going to understand your lifestyle. Not everyone's going to understand why you do the things that you do, and that's okay. Now, granted, I think there's definitely an element where the universe is asking us all to evolve. So maybe there's certain aspects and facets of our being that do need some evolution, that do need some maturation, right? And that's with the whole Saturn and Pisces aspect too, with Neptune here as well, and Pluto coming back into Capricorn, right? There's definitely an evolution when it comes to these higher aspects and higher qualities of ourself, right? But these things are going to take time. These are slow moving planets, slower moving planets. So it's not like these things are going to happen overnight. I think it's interesting too that when it comes to these like slower planets, and of course you have Pluto here in Capricorn, you have Neptune here in Pisces. Saturn is like an interpersonal planet. It's not quite a personal planet, but it's not quite like a super slow moving planet either, but it is still here in Pisces. But then you have Uranus, which is a far out energy, here in Taurus. So that's the interesting thing about this, is that a lot of the slower planets are in the outer signs, but then you have Taurus. You have Uranus and Taurus, which is in one of the more personal signs with Taurus about value and stuff. There's definitely this element. We are all having to dig deep and to really find those seeds of wisdom that exist within all of us, and to find that level of comfort and to really move forward. I think honestly, this is a moment where, like, if you don't have like good relationships, if you don't have solid relationships, if you don't have someone to really talk things out, and if you don't really believe in a higher power, I don't know who and what you're leaning on right now, because we all right now are kind of going through it when it comes to that. We all need something to lean on. And it's just really important to have that something, be it, a lover, a friendship, a family, a pet, maybe even a hobby, a higher power, something greater than yourself, a purpose. These are all the things that are really going to help us get through this time, because we are going through this massive metamorphosis and it's uncomfortable. So that's the thing too about this, is that, like, I think what a lot of people are experiencing, like, these different discords and miscommunications with other people, and they are kind of blowing it all up, thinking that it's some big thing, when really it's just that we're all shedding and molting. It's like when a snake sheds its skin, it's super sensitive and it can be pretty moody after it does that. And I think you'd be too if you just shed your skin and suddenly you're super sensitive, like the slightest little bit of whatever, the slightest little bit of stimuli or whatever, like external stimuli, could potentially set you off. And I think that's where we are right now. We got to find ways to kind of calm the nerves and to kind of like just kind of chill out a bit. It's kind of it's a blessing that we had the sun in Cancer, because the sun in Cancer is asking us to, yeah, it's the summer. Sure, we got all this energy in Leo, but there's this element where we're still trying to like just chill out and stuff. So we're gonna have that trine is gonna be, it's a very beautiful thing, but it's not easy too. Like being okay with our weirdness, our quirkiness, the things that are scarring that makes us who we are, learning to be okay with that and to embrace that in many ways, but also to not over identify with it too. I think that's the other thing that the moon in Libra is wanting to find some balance, is that like we could use those things for fuel, but we also don't want to over identify with it, because if we over identify with it, then we can develop like a victim complex, and then we can feel like we have like this victim currency. And that's the other part about this, is people like just using it like it's currency and stuff like that, but that currency is not where the true value is. And that could just be a hard lesson to learn. It's like fishing for sympathy. And yes, there are certainly many marginalized groups out there, and we've all probably been marginalized at some point in our life, right? But there are a lot of marginalized groups out there that are certainly seeking justice, absolutely. And they should have justice, right? But we also don't want to take it so far to the other side of the pendulum where we are over identifying with our trauma and our wounding to the point where we can't move forward. That's the other part about this, right? Now, we also, of course, as we have that trine that's building, we also, of course, have the square of Venus to Uranus strengthening as well. It's going to take some time because Venus is moving like what? How fast is it moving? It's like moving like what? 41 minutes a day. So moving very slow. Neptune is technically slowing down now. It's moving like super, super slow. It's going to be coming retrograde soon. And we're about to hit retrograde city. We're about to just start seeing planets just like come retrograde. So things are about to slow down anyways. And if you're someone that wants things to manifest fast and want things to be rapid pace, whatever like that, you can find yourself a little frustrated too, because things are just not going to look exactly the way that you want. You don't have any Virgo energy right now. That's the thing. We had the moon in Virgo for a little bit, which gave people sort of like a, insight into these things. But you got to remember that moon opposed Saturn and it opposed Neptune, and it dealt with Mercury at the same time while it was opposing Neptune. So we had that energy to deal with. I spoke about that one a lot, about how that can be in, that was like what, Sunday morning. I spoke about how that could be like a very intense energy to deal with. Now we have this moon in Libra. Was that Sunday morning? Yeah, I want to say it was Sunday morning. Mercury's moving so fast, so that's why I'm like, when was that? It was Sunday morning. It's early in the morning. So now, of course, as we continue to move this forward, we're going to see. I want to say we're going to see Venus pretty much get to 19 degrees. It's really, really close. So it's about to actually conjunct right here. We have Mercury, which is now at 2 degrees. So. And then, of course, we're going to have that moon in the day around 26 degrees, 26, 27 degrees of Libra, getting ready to make the king comes over to Neptune, mind you. So, and like I said, it's not going to go void of course. And the moon also will be coming into the square with Pluto. So today is definitely a day about all these energies that are kind of building up. And the main focus, of course, is going to be on the moon, because the moon is making most of these aspects, right? Of course, we also are building up to, like I said, that Mercury and Sun conjunction, which will be happening soon. And it's going to be happening pretty much as the Sun is trining over to Saturn. So there's definitely some beautiful energy that I think is budding. It might not necessarily be the easiest energy to deal with, but it's beautiful nonetheless. It's like, how do I describe this? It's like we want it to look a certain way, but it's still what's still being presented to us is still in many ways what we've asked for. It's what we need. And in many ways, though, it is what we asked for. We just have to be willing to actually see it. We want the prize to be delivered to us by, you know, this is going to sound very shallow. We want the prize to be delivered to us by like a supermodel, right? Like Miss Universe, whatever like that. Or freaking, do they have a Mr. Universe or something like that too? Uh, those are usually like the really big bodybuilders. Anyways, we want the prize to be delivered to us by some incredibly like 20 out of 10 attractive person, right? That's what we want it to be. And we have like this whole vision in our head of like fireworks and the balloons and the streamers and the confetti. And we have it. And really, it's being presented to you by like, you know, your derpy little brother, your annoying little sister, uh, uh, probably maybe like a childhood best friend. It's going to be presented by someone who you probably take for granted. And I'm being metaphorical here too, right? Um, but it's going to be presented to you by someone that you just wouldn't really consider. We can really get caught up on the external package of somebody when really it's their message that's really important and what they're bringing to the table. Like I said, this is all it's all being metaphorical. But what's being delivered to us is not going to be delivered in the way that we want it to be delivered or think it should be delivered, but it's being delivered in the way that we need it to be delivered. This Moon Libra is definitely teaching us to find the balance in things, to balance our expectations with reality, also to see the beauty and all this sort of stuff and appreciate all of the blessings that we have in our life. So that Sun in Cancer is looking for the healing, it's looking for us to find the sanctuary, looking for us to find some peace within a lot of the chaos. It's not going to be necessarily easy because this is going to be, like I said, the last Cancer season that we do actually have it opposing Pluto, because come next Cancer season, Pluto will actually be in Aquarius, and Pluto won't go back into Capricorn until the Sun reaches Leo. So we're never going to see Sun and Cancer oppose Pluto again in our lives unless you live another 200 plus years. You're never going to see this energy again. So definitely take advantage of this moment too, because even though it is an opposition and it's tough, there's definitely a massive transformation when it comes to this. Massive transformation when it comes to this. So harness this power, harness this moment, you know, strive for something, move towards a goal, work hard at something, but also give yourself time to rest and relax. Like today, I worked my day job like was like 5 or 6 days in a row, and I had some ideas and some other videos I wanted to make today. I could have gone to the gym, but I didn't go to the gym today. I was supposed to go to the gym at like 8:30 this morning, and my alarm went off at 7:30, right? And yeah, so the alarm went off at 7:30, and I snoozed it, of course, or I turned it off, and then I wake back up like around like 8:20 ish when I was supposed to be at the gym, and the gym I go to is like 20 minutes away, because I don't like myself. And but I come to find a message from my trainer saying that he had woken up with a really bad migraine and had to cancel anyways. So it kind of worked out. Now I could have still gone to the gym, but I was like, you know what? I've been working out really hard and really been pushing my body. Not like overdoing it, but I haven't really been pushing. I've been really pushing it. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna just rest today. You know, had some ideas for some other videos. I want to do some tarot videos for all the signs, and I was going to start that today. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait till I'm gonna wait until Mercury goes into Cancer. I don't want to do it while Mercury's at the edge of Gemini, making all these crazy ass aspects. So I waited, and I'm glad I waited. I chilled out, I relaxed, just watched some TV, took a nap, woke up, talked to my mom for an hour, freaking great conversation with my mom. And my plan today was to freaking watch the new Super Mario movie and buy some pizza. It didn't quite go that way. First of all, I didn't want to spend the money to buy it on Amazon. I was hoping to just rent it. And then it was like around 9 o'clock already, and I didn't want to necessarily order pizza because I didn't necessarily want to go out either. So I adjusted my plans. I had a beef patty, and I'm watching Dragon Ball Super, which I've only really have seen clips of, and I never really watched it. And I'm about to have a bowl of cereal after I finish this. So it's like you can find like you can find peace and balance even when your plans don't go exactly the way that they go or the way that you want them to go. You can find peace in that. You can find the harmony in that. You can find the sanctuary in that. Um, I think this is also probably a good time to kind of tap into some nostalgia. And when I say nostalgia, I'm not talking about getting hung up on things in the past that may have not gone well, but like watch something that you used to watch as a kid, or have a bowl of cereal, eat a Pop Tart. You know what I mean? I know you may be like, some of y'all maybe have like really strict diets and don't want to do that, but shoot, just like, that's the other thing. Venus and Mars is in Leo, and that's the sign of that's Leo's children. So it's like this is definitely a great time to kind of tap back into that energy, kind of tap back into that inner child energy. It's really what's going to help you get through this time as well, and connecting with those people that really matter. So, you know, it's okay to push the envelope. It's okay to work hard. It's also okay to just kind of chill out and relax in between all that too. So, yeah. Some of y'all have been working super freaking hard. You deserve a rest. You deserve a rest. So, and it doesn't mean that maybe it's you actually going on a vacation, or maybe you just take a day where you don't really do anything, and that's okay. Some of you guys are judging yourself because you feel like you have to change the world in one day or overnight. You feel like if you don't do something today, then the world is doomed or something like that. It was like, no, rely on your comrades, rely on your other fellow light workers out here, rely on your teammates that you haven't even met in this life yet, but you guys made that agreement before coming down here. They got it too. You don't have to be. This is a relay race. You're not running it by yourself, so it's okay to allow other people to. Everyone's going at their own pace right now. You know what I mean? So yeah, where you feel like you may be dropping the ball, someone else is picking it up. So, anyways, let's see what the cards have to say for today. So, I'm switching both of the decks. I'm using, what is the name of this deck? I think it's called like Shadowscapes Tarot, and then I have the Sacred Traveler Oracle deck as well. So, I have. Interesting. I'm talking about camaraderie, and I get the Seven of Swords. I got the Seven of Swords. I got the Ace of Swords in reverse. And then the final card, I got the Page of Wands in reverse. The Page of Wands in reverse. Not exactly the cards I thought was going to come out, but the cards that came out nonetheless. So, yeah, there's definitely this element where we can definitely feel like we're being robbed by the universe. We can feel like someone may be taking advantage of us. But these other cards that are, the other way, the Ace of Swords and the Page of Wands, that's what we want. We want to have this sort of conviction. We want to have like this sort of ideal. And then with the Page of Wands, we want to express that ideal, right? But we're really operating in this sort of Seven of Wands energy. And that's the tricky thing too. And so we have to acknowledge, like, are we really actually being backstabbed, or is our mind playing tricks on us? I'm gonna draw a card just to kind of. Yeah, we have the Judgment card in reverse. Yeah, don't be too hard on yourself, beloved, right now. This is definitely not a time to be super hard on yourself. This is definitely a time to kind of let go and let God and just let things kind of play out. I'm hearing that you don't necessarily need to force the issue. The Seven of Swords energy, I'm hearing that it's also temporary, that whatever sort of injustices that you may be feeling, whatever sort of sword that you feel like may be in your back, I'm here. I heard it's your own self-doing. I'm hearing that this isn't even necessarily from another person too, but there's a way to adjust. I think with this Judgment card in reverse, there's sort of like an adjustment that's going to be kind of happening today, if you will, so the energy can flow a little bit better. and whatever ideal that you have that you're wanting to express, maybe there has to be some sort of adjustment to that ideal per se. It's definitely very interesting to getting those cards, but let's see what the oracle card message is for today too. It's definitely to provide some more background to this. So yeah, I have a feeling that this has to do with the fact that the moon is going to be opposing Chiron at the same time, sextiling all the Leo energy. There's something going on there. I don't know if something's going to come up in the media today about like weird protests or whatever like that, or different marginalized groups trying to come forward and claim something. Um, I'm hearing that to not take this super personal, but I think people are going to be taking it personal. I think that's the thing about it. So let's see what we got. Yep. Solitude. In silence, peace prevails. Yeah, the Seven of Swords is just going to be you like really paying attention to the external world. You paying attention to all these other voices that may say that, you know, this person did this to you and you've had this done to you and this and this and this and this, but the peace is going to come through solitude. Do like tune out. This would be a great day to just avoid the news altogether. Do like a fast from like, so maybe a great day to even do like a social media fast, because you don't really want to get super caught up in all that, because if you do, you can definitely get it in your head that someone's taking from you or someone's stealing from you, and it's going to promote this mindset of lack, that you're not really abundant, which is actually true. If you really fall for that, you can suppress this sort of ideal that you're really wanting to bring forward and communicate and express with that Page of Wands energy, which is a very like, it's like I said, it's the student, but it's like really eager to like really express this, but it may be a little bit tough. We may be feeling like we're receiving judgment from so many people. I think that's why we have this reverse card too. We are so afraid of other people to judge us. You know, we are so afraid for other people to judge us when the only judgment that matters is from above, from within, God. That's the only judgment that really matters. So we have to go within. It's in silence, peace prevails. So definitely take some time today for yourself to rest, relax, recuperate, find the solitude. You know what I mean? Do not worry too much about the external world and worried about someone taking something from you. I'm hearing that the Seven of Swords energy today is a lie. It's a farce. It's an illusion. Don't fall for the illusion today. Do not fall for the illusion today. That is going to do it for your video today. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And I will see you guys for Wednesday's forecast. Y'all take care. Stay blessed. Adios. Sayonara. Peace. I did a thumbs up instead of a peace sign, but whatever. Later.